Now, saying there's something we can learn from the religions of the world is not the same as saying that they're all the same or that they're all true. That's the conventional wisdom of our time. I think that's what Oprah believes in the series called Belief, or what Reza Aslan is communicating in his series called Believer, where all the differences are watered down in a way that people who are, in fact, believers don't really appreciate. My cards have been face up on the table this whole time. I wrote this book as an unapologetic follower of Christ with the conviction that people of conviction can communicate with each other, even in our disagreements, in a way that is informed and respectful, without descending into the mushy relativism of our time that ignores the significant differences between the things that we believe. I've spent most of my adult life immersed in the study of the religions of other people. First as a missionary in rural Kenya, then as a student, and later a professor of the world's religions. And against that backdrop of the alternatives, I'm coming to appreciate the uniqueness of the gospel. That the Bible in which I read the story of the gospel is, in fact, a story from beginning to end. Other sacred texts aren't primarily story. Most of them are comprised of hymns and prayers and significant philosophical insights and some rules. The Bible, of course, contains all of those, and some of those other books contain stories, but the Bible assembles all of that kind of material on a framework of an epic story that begins with the story of creation and quickly moves to the calling of Israel that God's going to use as a mediator nation to communicate something of himself to the whole world. And then in this season of exile, back and forth with the people of Israel through the prophets, he offers a promise of hope that a Messiah will one day come to redeem the people of Israel and, in fact, the whole world. Then we read in the Gospels the story of the coming of the Messiah as witnessed by those who were there and heard and saw him first. In Acts of the Apostles, we read what happened next, how they took that message to the rest of the Mediterranean world, how they established churches. Then in that collection, we have a bunch of letters written to those churches, letters written to specific people in specific places, dealing with specific issues, trying to figure out what it means to follow Jesus together in the ancient world as a group, this group called church. And then at the end of that collection, we get a peek at stories, most of which haven't happened yet, in those scenes included in Revelation.